So the author is going to talk about this as the conversation age, the participative media, and Web 2.0. Then comes Web 3.0 and so on. In this chapter 4, the conversation age, Digg is a new site that appeared in 2004 with the promise to provide its users with complete editorial control over its content. In 2007, its community demonstrated the strength with which it had adopted that power. Somebody uploaded an article that revealed the code for copying protected DVDs. So there is the freedom of speech, freedom of writing, freedom of expression, etc., and then articles on building bombs or copying protected DVDs or committing suicides or killing people and so on and so forth. So obviously conversation and open media can go in many different directions. The era of mass media established in the 20th century is in the throes of a terminal crisis. Well-known and dazzling technological advances are producing crucial changes in the way in which people connect with information and communications. Now we have added to that AI, deepfakes, fake information, and very realistic looking fake news. It's endless game, especially for winning elections or denying wins of other people and so on. So Web 1.0, according to the author, static publication, mass messages, passive and isolated audience, news sites, unidirectional message, so newsreader was talking to you, centralized networks, and PC supported. Web 2.0, on the other hand, syndication of contents, personalized content, participative and interconnected users, blogs and civil journalism, conversations, distributed networks, and multiple supports. Often this is called the post-expert era because anybody can start a blog or a YouTube channel like I'm doing and establish a brand, and if you get enough subscribers you have credibility and you can actually do lots of good things or bad things depending on what you're doing with the audience you have or what you are serving the audience and how they perceive it and what they do with it and how their choices and behaviors are affected by what you say and so on and so forth. So a manifesto for a new day, 12 of the 95 theses in the renowned Cluetrain Manifesto. I won't go into the details. Markets are conversations. Internet is enabling conversations among human beings that were simply not possible in the era of mass media. These networked conversations are enabling powerful new forms of social organizations and knowledge exchange to emerge. If you think about the billion people or billions of people on WhatsApp groups conversing sometimes with people they have never met and how they circulate things, forward things, how quickly things go viral and so on. You have to wonder whether there is social organization and knowledge exchange or there is just paranoia that's being spread around. Fourth, there are no secrets. The network market knows more than companies do about their own products, and whether the news is good or bad, they will tell everyone. 5. In just a few more years, the current homogenized voice of business, the sound of mission statements and brochures, will seem as contrived and artificial as the language of the 18th century French court. Okay, so basically companies will have less control on selling propaganda and people will know what actually is being sold. Companies need to lighten up and take themselves less seriously. They need to get a sense of humor. Well, oil companies are often accused of not having a sense of humor at all. Moving forward, getting a sense of humor does not mean putting some jokes on the corporate website. Rather, it requires big values, a little humility, straight talk, and a genuine point of view. Okay? To speak with the human voice, companies must share the concerns of their communities. There are two conversations going on, one inside the company and one with the market. We are immune to advertising, just forget it. I'm not so sure of this because marketing is still getting more and more sophisticated, especially with AI, and people are still relying on the media. Even if there is a newspaper like New York Times, which I read every day, along with Washington Post and other Indian newspapers, All the newspapers are very good at reporting on climate issues, climate solutions, choices in food, clothing, cars, technology, everything, and yet they always flash customized ads for me, knowing where I'm coming from. Right? Even though I'm reading New York Times, they know I'm coming from Mumbai, so they will produce ads for me by tracking me. So we are not really immune to advertising. It's become much more subtle, subliminal. Don't worry, you can still make money. That's as long as it's not the only thing on your mind. We are waking up and linking to each other. We are watching. We are not waiting. Okay. Wow, very good. So the architecture of conversation from Business Week in 2007, which begins to tell you the age of the book, but nonetheless, message, experience, conversation, and then you have communities, relations, and affinities. So you have these issues of confirmation bias. So the filters of social media, or Google search or Facebook or whatever news outlet you are using online, it knows the kind of news you like, and it begins to feed you more and more of the same kind. Your affinities are identified and they are reinforced because you keep on getting similar things, similar news, similar books, similar music, similar movies, similar opinion writers, and so on and so forth. So you can begin to have a echo chamber even though you are sitting in your room and reading this on internet. So onward toward Web 3.0. Regarding the Web 2.0 trends, specialists and detractors alike agree that groundwork for Web 3.0 has already been laid. This is a bit dated, so we just have to take his word for what Web 3.0 is. The accent in this transition would be away from the me media, blogs and personal pages, towards a true conversation, a deep-reaching we media. As it happened, as I record this in 2023, end of September, or into October already actually. I'm not sure this is already happening or is on its way. In ancient times, a rich oral culture developed. In those days, men gathered and talked. Experiences made sense when shared with others. But anyway, evolution of transitional media to participative media. So you have Apple, so mobile telephony, Apple computers, CNN, MTV, IBM PC, and Linux, 1970 to 1992. Start session, so you have Yahoo, 94 Yahoo, which is now pretty much surviving at a bottom line. Amazon.com, Hotmail, Craigslist, Wikis, ICQ, Google, and ClueTrain Manifesto. YouTube came along, which dominates, but now TikTok, there are many platforms which are vying for attention, for subscription, and so on. Omi News, Delicious, Nike Plus, Vblog, Rocket Bloom, Firefox, Flickr, YouTube, Skype. You can see the book is a little bit old now. Napster, BlackBerry is gone. Microsoft employees begin blocking. iPod gone. Wikipedia, Blogger, Last.fm, RSS. You have Google buys YouTube, News Corp buys MySpace, Second Life, evolution of Dove, viral marketing, virtual campaign for Chevy Tahoe. Dig users revolt. Facebook opens its platform in 2007. Twitter comes and now is bought by Elon Musk, has become X, and many people have quit because many scientists feel it's not the platform they signed up to. So here is just a thing, 43 things: YouTube, Gmail, Bloglines, Facebook, etc. This landscape is constantly evolving, and I'm in fact old and not deeply into it, so the young people are the ones who are driving these. Okay, so that's the network generation that we are talking about. So maybe how long is this podcast? It's 9 minutes, so let's go a little bit forward with the network generation. Erica is 16, an only child who lives in Sao Paulo, Brazil, but has a Mac in her room, a broadband connection, and an iPod that's well stocked with music, obviously dated. Like her teenage friends, Erica never knew the world without internet. For her, information obtained from the mass media has a value equivalent to amateur or alternative media. Okay, so I won't read all the details, but here, every afternoon before returning home from her work, Somebody spends an hour at a cyber cafe where he can chat, visit with friends, personal pages, post comments, watch funny videos on YouTube, and read the day's news. On the train ride home, he exchanges text messages with his girlfriend on his cell phone. Again, a bit dated, but we get the idea. Getting to know the next gen. I won't read all of it. So we talked about Erica and Julian in the previous slide. That's the next net gen, not next gen. So we went from TV to internet, so media controlled by the adult world, passive observers, mass sales messages. Technology implies hierarchy in this case. But now you have internet, so TV itself runs completely on the internet, provides greater control to youth, interactive and participative users. Google AdSense, technology gets distributed with free software and so on. Is that a new renaissance? Well, we'll come back and look at that in the next podcast. I'm rolling right along here, being very brief. Just as I said, I liked the background of the author and wanted to give a sense of what he thinks about sustainability. It's not going into the kind of details that straight up sustainability principles book would go into, which we will do in the next book and the book after. Okay.